So the buzz is good. You've got quite a positive response from what you put out there so far.
You know, surprisingly, it's not something that folks are familiar with hearing about. And it blows my mind because I remember when I first learned what surround sound was, it occurred to me, oh, that's like being in a car. So we got 6-speaker audio in every automobile basically to run stereo sound. And it's like the industry's gotten so close. You know, they're right on the edge. I don't understand why they don't jump. Neil Young's putting out 24-bit downloads, right? New company that's going to do that. So we're going to try to squash the MP3, which I think is terrific. I think if we get rid of CD, it'd be pretty good too. It looks like Blu-ray is going to be a format that they hang on to for a while. Which is basically the same. It's a PlayStation game. So you can fit, I think, about 10 or 20 gigs on there. People want music, it seems, lately. They want music to accompany some other activity. A lot of times that's farting around on the internet, sometimes that's cleaning a house, going for a jog.
Maybe just coming with a menu.
Yeah. Riding in a car. Something to do, and a vinyl record album used to be that something to do.
Sure.
Because in 15 minutes you have to get up and flip it. And you got this great big, visual, thing to kind of enjoy while you're listening. Well, that's over. It seems it's not going to come back, that way. So let's give them something to do that supports, what the music was trying to do.
How long have you been working on this record?
31 years. Because you could say that you've been working on every record the whole time. So about 4 or 5 songs in February or March, and sent them to Dave and Rick to record some parts for. Probably be a record, probably be this year. And then I hooked up with the guys from Vero. It started to kind of turn into something different.
What would you say inspired you to begin this, or maybe further it from what it was?
I think mostly it inspired me itself. A lot of ambience and a lot of kind of intricate nuance sonically going on. And I'm usually just pretty straightforward, and so I think a combination of that and just things going on in my personal life. Brought CRAZYTOWN maybe a little bit to life. So if that old question is, art imitate life or does life imitate art? The line seems to blur something.
How did you get such a full-bodied sound?
I got to give credit to other people for that. Mike Ronstadt comes in with a cello and he's a machine. Matter of fact, he just finished up some cello parts, calls me and tells me precisely to what frequency my A string is out of tune. He's like a scientist. Tell me what he had to do to kind of correct that, and then prepare me for what I have to do if I want to redo the part. It sounds like he's recommending I redo the part. And Dave Cruson, who's just, him and Rick Rosas, I was doing a math one day, just because I was curious, not realizing that there were so many records that I liked that Rick had played on. And so I was like, I wonder how many albums these guys have sold. And I stopped counting at 100 million. It's just a monstrous body of work with these guys. Some of the most classic stuff, that I remember listening to growing up that, had a huge influence on me. Like, there's probably no song I've played more in my life than Rockin' in the Free World.
Sure.
And probably most every, musician who had a guitar in a garage that's true for, but,
sure.
Still it had a big impact on me as a player. So to work with those guys is great anyway, but, they're also stellar players. Like, you're reminded when you hear guys like that or see guys like that play, oh yeah, guys at this level really are way better,
sure.
Than your typical, knocking around on the weekend.
And they're pretty nice to deal with, to work with.
Yeah.
Nothing embarrassing you'd like to share?
No. They're consummate professionals.
Sure.
So they know how to hide embarrassing stuff from people that would regurgitate it. But matter of fact, I just met up with Rick a couple of weeks ago. He was in Cleveland for he was backing up Peggy Young, Neil Young's wife. And I had a couple of drinks with him, and we were just chatting about, you know, this group of songs, and he mentioned that it seems to be the consensus that, you know, this one is the best maybe collection of songs that we've done, and I think that we've done some pretty, you know, good stuff up to this point, but hopefully other people will think so too.
Can you explain a little bit about the format?
I mean, it's a movie and an album.
Not documentary, like.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Just not actors.
No. Well, there's some actors. 5 or 6 different individual directors. And everybody kind of picked a segment or two based on what, you know, they liked the best, what they thought they had an idea for. I sat everybody down and I said, you know, this will be your thing. I'm not going to step on your toes and tell you what to do. I did, you know, give everybody some basic ideas, a collection of, have you ever seen 4 Rooms?
Yes.
A Quentin Tarantino project where there's a different director for each hotel room in the story. I think I'm doing the opening and closing sequences and a middle section, it's like an interlude, and then one other segment, and then everybody else is on their own.
And this is due out on 12/12 of this year, correct?
December 12th, we'll be shipping them by the 10th or something.
Sure.
Some theaters on the 12th throughout the country. I'll travel, you know, probably to almost everything out west. Probably, you know, Dave and Jared and Rick will probably attend some things. And I've talked to people about the first time they ever saw something in HD. Everybody remembers that because you never saw something so crisp. You know, it's like having new eyeballs. And I hope that this does that. You know, for people. But for the artist, it should be a new challenge too. If this is something that an artist wants to do, it's a lot more involved than just making a stereo recording.
What message or impression are you hoping that people take away from this?
I think ultimately optimistic, cynical at the same time. This isn't the same country I was born in at all, and I've only learned of some of these things, you know, some of these changes that we've undergone, because you know that they happen. Things like the Patriot Act. You don't know what they mean, and a lot of times I think it takes a while for the society to realize what the hell they just did. We can't keep our society and say that we're a free society. We've got everything we have to say. I think that has to go away right away. Environmental stuff. I mean, we're not going to be able to live on this planet forever. I don't even think that can be debated. I mean, there comes a time when you can't live here. It seems like we're accelerating that. And it seems like we probably have to really be working like 3 different plans at once, you know, to make sure that we're okay. And one of them is probably some kind of an exit strategy, if it's not already being thought of. I want to have people look at it and say, well, maybe, you know, maybe we should make records in a different way. Maybe if we stop delivering such an inferior product, they'll start treating it with respect. You know, between that and the copyright rights, you know, it's a battered marketplace.
Well, what's the best way to set up screening of
CRAZYTOWN, listen